So I was doing my usual research before starting my next video script, and I came across a question on Google that I think needs to be addressed. What is a dative sentence? Or how can you tell if a sentence is dative in German? This question has baffled me for years. At least twice a year, I'll have students ask me this or something similar. I'll have my students label parts of sentences using the cases of nominative, accusative, and dative. Inevitably, I'll have a few of them that get back with students that labeled entire sentences in nominative, other sentences in accusative, and another group of sentences as just dative. What is a dative sentence is like asking what is a footrest couch. A footrest is not a couch. You can't have a footrest couch. You can have a couch with a footrest, but there's no such thing as a footrest couch. The same is true of the dative sentences. They don't exist. The dative case is a thing. Sentences are a thing. You can use the dative case within a sentence, but that does not make the sentence dative. Dative and all of the other cases, nominative, accusative, and genitive, affect nouns and their partners, adjectives, articles, pronouns. This means that when you use one of those things in a sentence, you use it in the case that is appropriate for the use within that sentence. Let's take a look at a few examples in both English and German. Mein Bruder gibt unserer Schwester ein Geschenk. My brother is giving our sister a gift. In this sentence, we have 3 out of the 4 cases in German. The sentence is not dative, or accusative, or nominative for that matter. It's just a sentence. You could classify it as a statement, but not as a case. Cases are only used for nouns and their partners. My brother in that sentence is the one acting. This makes him the subject. In German, this is indicated by the nominative case. In this sentence, we can tell that this is nominative because the word mein, the possessive adjective attached to the word Bruder, does not have an ending. A gift is the thing being directly acted upon by the subject. That makes this the direct object, and in German, this is indicated with the accusative case. The article in front of Geschenk is ein, which doesn't immediately tell us which case is being used, but we can tell based on the word order that this is the direct object and its accusative. Our sister in this sentence is the one being given something. She is receiving the gift. That makes her the indirect object, and in German this is indicated with the dative case. We can readily tell that she is in the dative case in this sentence because the possessive adjective unser in front of Schwester shows the dative case with the letters er at the end. So is this a dative sentence? No. Dative sentences don't exist. We have a sentence which includes 3 out of 4 cases: the nominative, mein Bruder, the accusative, ein Geschenk, the dative, unsere Schwester. How could we possibly have a dative sentence if you use multiple cases within the sentence? The answer is simple. You can't. Another confusing idea that goes along with this problem is dative verbs. Dative verbs are not called that because the verb is dative. They're called that because the objects of these verbs are dative. This essentially means that the sentence skips over the accusative case, which is usually used for direct objects, and uses the dative case instead. I could go into the semantics of why that is and give you a bunch of details, but I'll do that in a few weeks when I make my video dedicated to dative verbs. For now, just know that dative verbs require dative objects. The verb is not dative. The sentence is not dative. The object of that sentence using a dative verb is dative. Mein Bruder hilft unserer Schwester. My brother helps our sister. My brother is the subject again. He is still the one doing something. That means he is still nominative. Our sister is the one being helped, which means that she is now the direct object instead of the indirect object. The verb used here, however, is helfen, which means to help, and requires a dative object. Since our sister is the object of the sentence, she is represented with the dative case with unsere. Again, we have more than one case in this sentence, which means we couldn't possibly say that the entire sentence is one case or another. Nouns and their partners within the sentence are used in the nominative and dative cases. That's all. What about sentences that don't have more than one case? Like the ones with sein, the verb is often used with what we call a predicate nominative, so called because the thing is behind the verb, predicate, and is also nominative. Mein Bruder ist ein Junge. My brother is a boy. Both the boy and my brother are in the nominative case. Does this make this sentence nominative? There are no other cases here, but still no, the verb doesn't have a case. The sentence doesn't have a case. the nouns and their partners within the sentence do have cases. So the answer to the questions, what is a dative sentence, or how can you tell if a sentence is dative in German, is simple. Dative sentences are a myth. They don't exist. They never did exist. They never will exist. It's a grammatical impossibility for them to exist. Dative sentences are a lie. If you want to learn more about how to use the dative case in German, you can find my playlist about the dative case right over here. If you want to learn everything you want to know about the dative case all in one video, you can check out my masterclass over here. Das ist alles für heute. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!